What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Prime Sports World here with TJ. Bro, TJ. I do the shows too much with Christian. I almost called you Christian, but Christian is on the show. You, my main man, Christian Simpson and TJ Hawkins here on another edition of Prime Sports World. Please like, share, subscribe to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And in case you missed us, you can catch us on all streaming platforms where podcasts can be heard. Here for the Week 9 Monday Night Football recap and the Week 10 preview and predictions show, ladies and gentlemen. But let's start off the show, guys, with that drubbing of the Chargers and the Jets here last night. I don't think I need to see the Jets on primetime football again, but we will see them this week on primetime football. Looks like, the Jets defense, not Jets defense, Chargers defense pretty much was stout all night long. Zach Wilson, 33 of 49, 263 yards, but they really could not get it going, only mustering 6 points, losing 27-6. In this game, Austin Eckler with 2 touchdowns off of 14 carries and 47 yards. Keenan Allen with a remarkable catch, probably one of the catches of the year, had 8 receptions, 77 yards. And Justin Herbert with a pretty modest game, 16 of 30 for 136 yards. Got sacked 5 times, but they had the one special teams touchdown, punt return touchdown by Darius Davis to start the game for 80-plus yards to the house. And then after that, it was pretty much all she wrote. As you know, Joey Bosa and company were pretty much all over the Jets offense, and they just couldn't get in the end zone. How do you guys see that game? I'll start with you, TJ.
Well, first off, shout out to Keenan Allen. He eclipsed 10,000 career receiving yards on that catch. That was so spectacular. It was the Chargers really ain't do nothing special because they said this on the broadcast. They didn't have to. They didn't have to do anything special. Uh, I think the Jets are at a point where, hey, we know defensively they gonna come into play. If the defense is getting takeaways and they're making things hard, and they're giving Zach Wilson short fields to work with, they look like they can beat anybody. Right? They can beat anybody. But when you got to make Zach Wilson play quarterback, and he got to drive 80 yards to get points, you see the inept. You see the ineptitude. Alan Lazard dropping passes, and I can just hear Izzy right now. Yep.
Man, look,
I could
he's
just
not
hear
a bad wide receiver. He's not a bad. He was just never healthy.
consistent, and he was never consistent. Like CJ Uzoma dropped a wide open touchdown. It's like
Garrett Wilson had a fumble. Zach Wilson lost
Garrett
two
Wilson had a
fumbles.
fumble. Zach Wilson lost 2 fumbles. I understand the frustrations with Zach Wilson. I really do. But at the same time, at some point in time, you got to help your quarterback out. Like the drops weren't helping. The line play.
I mean, 8 sacks.
The
They gave
line
up 8
play
sacks in this game.
wasn't helping. And on the flip side, if you're the Chargers, hey, this is what you wanted defensively when you pair Khalil Mack with the Joey Bosa. You want it to be unstoppable from both sides. Like
Hey,
you
my
want
guy
it to be,
Tooley from USC was balling too yesterday. Two
hey,
sacks on the night.
he had a game. He had a game, but yeah, it went by how we expected it to go. Like I don't think once the Jets couldn't get anything of traction offensively, that defense kept getting put out there. You saw what happened. Like that's what happened. That defense got tired fast.
Christian.
Yeah, the Jets just couldn't get anything going. Plain and simple. The Jets made the Chargers look like the '85 Bears on defense. I'm just saying. Herbert really didn't have to do too much, but yeah, I agree with you about that Keenan Allen catch. Like that was spectacular. And he's one of the more underrated receivers we have in the game today. Zach Wilson threw the ball way too many times, but then again, he had no choice because they were in such a big hole early on. And to get out that hole, you got to be able to throw the ball. Running the ball is going to get you back in the game. The Chargers needed this win because if they had lost to the Jets, there would have been so many question marks about the Los Angeles Chargers. But what, they got back to 500? Here they go.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, nothing much to say about this game. I mean, they were, one thing I will say is, like you said, they were down. Brees Hall had a couple good, tough runs, but when you're only getting 3 yards a pop on the ground, your offensive line isn't winning in the trenches. You're getting dominated by, three of their main defensive linemen. Derwin James had a great game. Kenneth Murray had a good game. Another good game this season. So I mean, this Chargers defense played up to their potential. But yeah, this Jets offense is just way too inconsistent from week to week to even be counted on. And we saw it last week. I don't even know how many third down conversions they made against the Giants, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. And so this was like kind of a foreseen conclusion here against the Chargers. I think right away, I didn't expect the Chargers to play this great a defense by any stretch, and I thought it might have been closer. But 27-6 was that's a dub, baby.
Man,
So
dominant.
that's a dub, baby. That's a dub, and that closes the chapter on week number 9. And with that being said, we're gonna give out our game balls of the week like we do every single week. And I'll start with Christian. Who do you give your game ball of the week to?
Man, it's only fitting I give it to this guy. I'm talking about that quarterback in Houston, Mr. CJ Stroud. I mean, he has just been balling out this year. He went, I'm looking at the stats, 30 of 42, 470 yards passing, which is a record for a rookie quarterback, and 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Brought the Texans back when they were down to the Buccaneers late in the game, and CJ just orchestrated a drive. I haven't seen a young quarterback with this poise in quite some time.
TJ.
Paulson Adebo single-handedly killed any dream the Bears had to win that game. 2 picks, a forced fumble. Yeah, he was all over the place in that game. It's Paulson Adebo.
There's a couple guys I can give my game ball to. I can give it to Kenny Moore, who had the 2 pick sixes in his game. But I'm actually gonna give it to an undrafted rookie. I could give it to Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs definitely is hell as well. Deserves a game ball. If David was here, he'd probably give it to him. But I'm actually gonna give it to this guy, undrafted rookie out of East Carolina, Keaton Mitchell.
Yep.
9 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Everybody don't know who Keaton Mitchell is. He plays for the Baltimore Ravens. And I have a nice little hunch that Keaton Mitchell might be stealing some carries away from Justice Hill, and he might be that home run threat of a running back. He reminds me a lot of what Devin Achane does down there in Miami. So I'm going to give my game ball to Keaton Mitchell because he deserved it. And I'll talk about him a little bit later on in the show as well. But moving on to week number 10, we have Thursday night football here on the slate with the Panthers going into Chicago this Thursday to go ahead and face the Bears. Both teams coming off some losses, not bad losses. Carolina coming off of a bad loss. The Bears coming off a close loss, 24-17 against the Saints. Carolina coming off a really, really, really tough loss against the Colts, 27-13, in which Bryce Young threw 3 interceptions in this game. How do you guys see this one shaking out? I think the Bears should be getting Justin Fields back, and they should be getting Khalil Herbert back as well. TJ.
Yeah, man. Hey, if they lose this one, fire everybody. I don't care. I'm serious, man. Like it's already likely that a new regime is coming again. But yeah, if you lose this one, I don't care. I don't understand what they have against firing folks mid-season. I'm not that nice. If I was running things like, hey, bro, you are You don't even have double-digit wins in 2 years as the head coach. You lose this one, I will let it be known right then and there. You lose this one, you might as well clean out your office. Everybody. I will make a coaching staff from scratch from this point on to the end of the season. I swear to God, I would. Like, if he don't win this one, he got to go.
Well, like you said, it's a foregone conclusion. He's probably already gone anyways.
No
But
Brian Burns.
yeah,
No Brian Burns to make life a living hell either. Come on, man.
I mean, hey, and you know what? And they just signed the Pokemon version. They just signed the linebacker version of Ass Ketchum.
Wait, so was he scamming folks or did he get?
He was
scared?
scamming folks. He was scamming
Oh
folks.
wow.
He was scamming. Blake Martinez is said to be signed with the Carolina Panthers. As if everybody doesn't know who Blake Martinez is, he played middle linebacker for the Green Bay Packers in that 3-4 defense when Don Capers was the defensive coordinator. Mr. 5 yards,
too, right?
Mr. 100 yards of Mr. 100 yards of 100 tackles of
Nothing.
yeah. Nothing. 100 unreliable tackles a season. It let his guy get down. That was my biggest thing with Blake Martinez. Remember for years, TJ, I'd be like, man, Blake Martinez just lets everybody get 5 yards. Then he wants to make a tackle once they get 5 yards on the field. TJ, how do you see this one shaking out?
I just said it.
I mean, Christian, my bad. Damn, my bad, bro. I'm sorry, Christian.
I like the Bears in this one. I think DJ Moore is gonna have a big game playing against a team that traded him. He's gonna have that chip on his shoulder. Put me down for the Bears.
Yeah, man, put me down for the Bears as well, man. I think Justin Fields comes back. He has a remarkable game. I think getting possibly Khalil Herbert back. I think he's supposed to be coming back. So he played full practice on Monday. Isn't that right, TJ? So Khalil Herbert's probably going to come back. Justin Fields is probably going to come back. So they better win this game. I got the Chicago Bears.
We should get an update on Fields tomorrow. We should know for sure by tomorrow if he's playing or not.
I'm pretty sure he should be playing, man. He should be playing, man. I mean, I know it's a thumb injury; those are tough, but I expect him. I expect him to play.
If it was a thumb injury on his non-throwing hand, he probably would have been back.
Yeah, absolutely. Next game we got on the slate down there is in Frankfurt, Germany. Here, 8:30 a.m. slot. And this one is less tantalizing for the fans, less sensational. Colts and the Patriots playing. I like to call them the Das Boot games, right? Because they play it in Germany. But the Colts and the Patriots, both Colts coming off of a nice win against the Carolina Panthers, in which their defense showed out, and the Patriots coming off a tough loss against the Washington Commanders. In this game, how do you see this one shaking out? I'll go with Christian first.
I think the Patriots do enough to ugly this game up because I don't trust the Colts offense. No, I really don't trust New England's offense like that either. But I think they do enough where they can run the football. As a defense, they'll neutralize Jonathan Allen and they'll put this game in the hands of Gardner Minshew. I like New England in a low-scoring, physical, ugly game.
TJ.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with TJ. I don't care about this game really.
I don't.
Indianapolis is sneaky 4-5.
It sucks. It sucks because I'm watching NIU on CBS right now, and at the bottom of the ticker, they just like teasing headlines, and it's like Bill Belichick 10 others, likely on the hot seat. And we're like, Bill Belichick ain't going nowhere. Bill Belichick's the only guy I know, only coach we know that can go 2-7 and not be on the hot seat.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, he made the play. They made the playoffs. 2 years ago?
Care.
With Mac Jones?
Don't care. Irrelevant. No, I'm dead ass. It's irrelevant. It's the NFL is a what have you done for me lately business. That's why so many people are out on Justin Fields. That's why Bryce Young is like they asking questions about Bryce Young already, and it's been 10 weeks into his rookie season, and they already saying, "Damn, man, we might have made a mistake on this one." Right? They don't care. Like, I don't care that Mac Jones made the playoffs as a rookie. That just updates. That just upgrades the expectations, right? That 2-7 and Bill Belichick is not on the hot seat. You can't sit here and tell again. I'm in Chicago. I watched Lovie Smith win 10 games and get fired.
Get fired.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Man. Oh. Let me get the Patriots in this one, man. I like the Patriots to win this one. They get off the schneid, man. I think they're gonna they kept it close last week. I think on a neutral. I don't even care if it's on a neutral field. I think they'll get Gardner Minshew into and Gardner Minshew doesn't have to do too much. Just has to be game manager.
Right.
But yeah, I'll give it to the Patriots. But man, those guys have to step up. I mean, the wide receivers have to step up. Juju Smith-Schuster, or a big drop at the end of the game that caused the interception to negate that drive. That could have possibly been a game-winning drive for Mac Jones. And it's not all on Mac Jones, man. It's the wide receivers, and you can't expect Mac Jones to beat Tom Brady. And that's where I'm at with the New England Patriots. So I'll go with the New England Patriots to win that game against the Indianapolis Colts. Next on the slate, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, both coming off wins here. Packers coming off a 20-3 win against the Los Angeles Rams, and Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a 20-16 win against Tennessee on Thursday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken, where Kenny Pickett took them down and won the game with the last drive of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So how do you guys see this one shaking out? I'll start with you, TJ.
Man, this shit gonna be ugly too. I'm like, no, dead ass.
No, this is gonna be an ugly game. No, you're right. You're right. This is gonna be an ugly game. This is gonna be an ugly game, bro. It's not sugarcoated. I don't want to watch this game either.
I hear that.
That being said, give me the Packers, mostly because I think the offensive line issues in Pittsburgh gonna continue. I don't see them having a good run game against Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Luke Van Ness, and y'all got another one, don't y'all? Who's the other? Preston. Y'all still got Preston Smith, right?
Mm-hmm. Preston Smith, yeah.
I don't see it happening against that front. Like, give me Green Bay. They're gonna stop their run. They're gonna establish theirs or try to. I just think Green Bay makes more plays this game than the Steelers do.
Christian,
I'm taking the Steelers here because this is going to be the toughest defense. This is going to be the toughest defense that Jordan Love is going to face all year long. They're going to throw a lot of different looks at him. I don't know if anybody on that Green Bay offensive line can contain both T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith. And then you got Cam Hayward in the middle. This could be one of those low-scoring games, too. But I think the Steelers lose out just now.
Minka Fitzpatrick's coming back, too, I think.
Oh, definitely the Steelers.
Minka Fitzpatrick's coming back. I like what I saw out of Aaron Jones last week. They could get some of that against this team in Pittsburgh. I like their chances if Aaron Jones is gashing teams up. When Aaron Jones is playing well for the Packers, I like this offense just in general because, like we said in the review show yesterday, when Jordan Love isn't throwing 35, 40 times, I think the offense is a lot more efficient when you can balance it out with the run game. I think they can do that. Not being a homer here, but I don't like. Remember Kenny Pickett, George Pickens? They had a honeymoon experience. Everything was all good and dandy, and now it's just starting to look don't look good, right? George Pickens coming out saying he's frustrated, feels like he's got a pebble in his shoe. And I feel like
No,
some of that
that was Mike
was
Tomlin's.
that Mike Tomlin.
That was
Okay,
Mike Tomlin's answer to that question. He's like George Pickens' frustrations is a pebble, quote, a pebble in
it's a
my
pebble in
shoe,
my shoe. Okay,
meaning
so
I got other things to worry about other than
right.
this disgruntled wide receiver.
Yeah, and he's super disgruntled. He's super disgruntled, and I think a lot of the disgruntledness. I mean, obviously, is towards Kenny Pickett. I mean, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The kid is just not. The guy is just not getting it done. I ain't gonna call him. He's a grown man in the league. Not getting it done for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think you're going up against a defense where you just mentioned a defense that can get after it, a defensive backfield with Jair Alexander, who's a top 5 cornerback in the league. I think that this is going to be a close game, but I like the Green Bay Packers to pull it out on the road. And I think you'll see a lot of Jordan Love growing up here in this game. I mean, that momentum, that win against the Rams, that's the best thing that can happen to them mid-season for them to kind of hit their stride mid-season on to finish the season out towards the end of the season. So I like the Green Bay Packers to win. Not being biased, obviously. No, just but I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers to win that football game. Next game we got on the slate, we got the Houston Texans going into the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is gonna be a hell of a game, man. Both teams coming off of really great, really good wins, especially the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud coming off a what was it, 5 touchdown performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, winning that game 39-37. Joe Burrow been looking great the last 3-4 weeks here. He had a big primetime win against the Buffalo Bills Sunday Night Football, 24-18. How do you see this guy's shaking out? I'll go with TJ.
Give me the Bengals to keep the train rolling. Obviously, folks are looking at what CJ Stroud just did and be like I think they're setting them up for failure by expecting that this game they expect him to go out and throw for 500 more yards this game, and the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna say, "Not today." Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that. Yeah, give me the Bengals to keep this train rolling, and I really don't think it's gonna be close. That's just me. I don't think it's gonna be close.
Christian.
Is he? You know what time it. Look, David's not here, so you
Here
Amos,
we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby.
shameless plug.
Let's plug number one, baby.
baby.
Let's go.
Man, I like what I'm seeing from Houston. They're playing hard for D'Amico Ryans, and I'll admit to you, I was worried about D'Amico because I saw what Houston did to Lovey, and I saw what they did to David Culley. TJ, you know where I'm getting at with this.
mm-hmm.
But nah, they leave it all on the field. They're young, they're energetic. This is a hungry football team, and they're only getting started. They got the right guy to kind of right the ship out there with D'Amico. And Cincinnati's just playing so well right now. Burrow looks healthy. They're establishing Mixon. Defensively, they're getting after you. They're forcing takeaways. I preview this one on Thursday. Be on the lookout.
So interesting, thing about the Houston Texans. So they signed, so they had some kicking woes, right? Because of the last, couple drives they had to go for two. So they signed Matthew Amendola. They signed Matthew Amendola to their practice squad. So he's probably going to be the kicker this weekend because Kaimi Fairbairn's probably out for in this game. So honestly, I don't necessarily say that Cincinnati's going to blow them out, but I do think they'll have a strong, a good. I think that they won't dominate the game, but they'll be leading from start to finish. But it'll be close in my opinion. I think CJ Stroud to answer every bell that Joe Burrow that he'll answer the bell every time, answer the call every time. But I think that Joe Burrow and those guys, they're just so good right now. They're looking like the cream of the crop of the AFC in my opinion. Defense is hitting on all cylinders. Offense is hitting on all cylinders. Joe Mixon's running the ball hard. I don't really think that there's anybody in Houston that can guard Jamar Chase. They got a bevy of weapons. T. Higgins is starting to look good, right? So also, they also you forget about Tyler Boyd, right? So I like Joe Burrow and the Bengals in this contest. I don't think it'll be 14 or 21 point win, but I do think they'll win by a touchdown. But I think if the Houston Texans, I mean, if they keep it close, they got a shot. CJ Stroud's a real deal. I mean, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. I mean, this dude has been flat out amazing. And I mean, the curve for the NFL, you just don't see it with him. He's a natural out there, a natural born leader, and he's adjusted really well to the game at the professional level. So something that that we thought that a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks couldn't do, just in years past. But this kid has been amazing this year. So got to give him a shout out on that one. Next game we got on the slate, we got the New Orleans Saints. Or no, we got the Tennessee Titans going into Tampa Bay to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend. Tennessee coming off a loss against the Steelers, and the Buccaneers coming off a loss as well against the Houston Texans. How do you guys see this one shaking out? Let's start with you, Christian.
Well, the Titans made that announcement today that I think all of us were expecting. Will Levis is going to be the starting quarterback for Tennessee the remainder of the way. And it just kind of gets me to wondering, if they had made him the starter earlier in the year, who knew where Tennessee would be? Reality's kind of come back knocking at the door for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know they got off to a strong start, but they've struggled to play consistent football as of late. Man, this is a pick 'em. The way I look at it, this can really go either way. I'm gonna go Tennessee, but I won't be surprised if Tampa wins it. But I like the Titans in this one.
I like the Buccaneers, mostly because they let one get away the week before. It's in Tampa. We've already seen Will Levis kind of struggle against a top. I ain't gonna say top notch, but we already seen him struggle against a good defense in Pittsburgh. Expect Todd Bowles and those guys to get out there Will Levis this Sunday.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I don't really expect Derek. I mean, Vita Vea, man, they just got him back last week, right? And Vita Vea up the middle is key to stopping Derrick Henry in the tackles. So they're gonna probably try and get him outside the tackles, but you got good linebackers that can go sideline to sideline, probably keep up with Derrick Henry. But I think that's key, man. I mean, if you can get Derrick Henry going, that helps out your rookie quarterback a lot. But with that being said, man, like you said, TJ, Tampa Bay is going to play motivated. They let one get away, let one slip away from them, and also, I mean, the NFC South is right there. I mean, it's up for grabs, literally. So, I think that's extra motivation. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home as well. Next game on the slate, we got the Cleveland Browns going into M&T Bank Stadium to face the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams coming off wins. Cleveland coming off a 27-0 win against Arizona, and the Baltimore Ravens coming off another big time win against the Seattle Seahawks, 37-3. How do you see this one shaking out? I'll start with you, TJ.
I don't see Baltimore winning 37-3. That's for damn sure.
That's no. You
right. No, it's I expect this to be super competitive. It's black and blue. It's division rivals. It's the number one defense in football against. I don't even know where Baltimore's ranked offensively, but
they up there.
They up there.
Got to be in the top 5, top 10, top 5, along with that top 5 defense that they got.
Right, it's top 5 defense versus top 5 defense. Give me the Ravens because I think Lamar Jackson makes a play that Deshaun Watson don't make.
Christian, do I got to get it ready for everybody?
Izzy, you got to get it ready.
I already knew. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Shameless plug number 2,
baby. Nah, man, I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, Cleveland had a scrimmage last week against the Cardinals. Let's just call it what it is. That was a scrimmage. That wasn't a game. That they did what they were supposed to do. Cleveland surprised me this year because Kevin Stefanski really has them playing with some confidence. Baltimore, look, right now, I think the Ravens are the best team in the National Football League with no weaknesses. I mean, they have a strong offensive line. They're running the ball consistently. Keaton Mitchell, like you said, I think he's going to take over as RB1. And defensively, I mean, that's always going to be the mantra with the Baltimore Ravens. They're always going to find ways to have one of the elite defenses in the National Football League. I previewed this one on Friday. Be on the lookout for it.
Man, yeah, this is top 5 defense versus top 5 defense. This is iron versus iron right here, man. I honestly, the one thing I will say about the Cleveland Browns, man, that game against Indianapolis, where Minshew was, I think he ran for 2 touchdowns on the ground. Well, you're going against Lamar Jackson, and I think like TJ said, Lamar has, we look at his numbers. I mean, they aren't as good as his MVP numbers, but they almost there. And you said what?
They're not gaudy.
They're not gaudy, but look, let me tell you, man. Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards got 7 touchdowns on the ground. When you get in the red zone with Gus, he runs hard. And I'll say this about that kid, Keaton Mitchell. He's super fast. I mean, this dude ran a 4.37 40. I like to say, I compared him to Devin A. Chain. Keaton Mitchell's about 5'8", Devin A. Chain's about 5'8", 5'9". 190, he's about 175, 180, 10 pounds lighter. But in college, this kid ran for over 1,400 yards. He in his sophomore year, his redshirt sophomore year, over 1,400 yards in the AAC. He's a 2-time first team All AAC, and he led the nation last year with 10 yards or more, 54 runs of 10 yards or more in the nation. That is incredible. So I think Baltimore's got something with that guy, Keaton Mitchell. I think, like I said, Justice Hill will find his way back on the bench, looking from the sidelines. I think Gus Edwards will be the goal line back, and I think Keaton Mitchell will be the guy that they need. That he's a guy that you cut him up, you get him a hole, you get him a crease, he's gonna take it to the house. Just like how Devin A. Chain was taking it to the house for Miami. So I do like Baltimore to win this football game, but I think this is gonna be a close game. I think it'll be it'll be high scoring. I think both teams will score on each other. I think they'll find plays to take advantage of their defenses. But I like the Baltimore Ravens at home. And man, right now looking like the best team in the AFC. Are the best team in the AFC. Next game we got on the slate, we got the San Francisco 49ers coming off their bye week, going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are coming off their bye week as well. And their last one was against Pittsburgh, 20-10. And the San Francisco 49ers, they need to get off the snide, man. They've lost 3 in a row. They needed that bye week. They lost to Cleveland 19-17, 22-17 against Minnesota, and then they lost to Cincinnati 31-17. So, they're looking to get a W here in Jacksonville. How do you guys see this one shaking out? I'll go with Christian first.
Izzy, let's get it ready.
Another one. Here we go.
Another one.
One, two, three. Shameless plug number 3, baby.
TJ, what's the one thing I've been saying about the 49ers the last couple of weeks? The bully don't like to get bullied. And that's what's been happening. They've been getting a taste of their own medicine. But I know they've also been injured as well. Losing 2 key players and Debo and Trent Williams. Like, Trent is one of the best offensive linemen we have in the National Football League. I need to see the 49ers get back to the basics. Taking care of the ball, winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, winning the trenches, just dominating up front. Pretty much dominating in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. Jacksonville, I don't want to say they look shaky, but the one thing that concerns me about their defense is, for as great as they are when it comes to forcing those turnovers and forcing those takeaways, say if they don't get them, then what? That's the thing to watch for. I preview this one tomorrow. Be on the lookout.
TJ.
Interested to see how they incorporate Chase Young into the fold because you traded for him during your bye week. So that's more than enough time to, get him acclimated to how they do things, design some packages for him defensively to get him on that field. I'm interested to see how they do that. And if you're Jacksonville, this it's like you're a good team, but this almost feels like one of those games where it's like, hey, we're good, but it's levels to this, you know. Like it's I think it's gonna show Jacksonville just how much further they gotta go to get to where they want to be. So give me the Niners.
Yeah, man, give me the San Francisco 49ers. I know Jacksonville's won 5 in a row. Um, the San Francisco 49ers are going to come back. They're going to come back hungry. I think that bye week is what they needed to kind of get their second win here to finish the season strong. Trent Williams needed it. Debo Samuel for sure as hell needed it. I believe they get both of those guys back this week. Um, I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. Like you said, trading for Chase Young, him and Nick Bosa with the rest of that defensive line is nightmarish, like for real, nightmarish. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence is going to have to play his best, and I think the key to Jacksonville on the other side to win this game, just keep trying to find ways to give Travis Etienne the ball. He's looking like an elite running back. He's probably played the best outside of Christian McCaffrey. He's been the best running back in the NFL, in my opinion. So, to keep finding ways to give Travis Etienne that football, either in the passing game or on the ground. I think Jacksonville, could, make it interesting. I think Jacksonville could possibly win, but I like the San Francisco 49ers to win this football game on the road, big win on the road in Duval County. Next game we got on state, we got the New Orleans Saints going up into US Bank Stadium to face the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams coming off big wins. New Orleans coming out that 24-17 win against Chicago, where their defense, turned the Bears over 3 times. And then you got the Minnesota Vikings with Josh Dobbs coming off the bench off of 3-4 days just after being traded, leading the comeback win against the Atlanta Falcons on the road, 31-28. How do you see this one shaking out? I'll start with TJ first.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Saints again, man. I just think that defense, they're gonna do enough to make things hard, man. I understand what's his name, Josh Dobbs. He came in, he did what the hell he had to do, caught the Falcons off guard. They weren't expecting to see Josh Dobbs in that game, right? Yeah, I think like the issues they have up front in Minnesota, paired that with the Saints defensive line led by Cam Jordan, and you got Paulson. You got one of the most underrated secondaries in the entire league. You got Marcus May, Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, and you got Honey Badger at the safety spot who can still make plays. He ain't what he used to be, but don't sleep on him. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, I'm with TJ on this one. I like the Saints. Their offense is slowly but surely starting to shape itself into form. Derek Carr is looking more comfortable. He's not forcing the ball over the heads of his receivers. In the Saints defense, I think they're just gonna, like he said, they're just gonna be too much for this Minnesota offense. They're gonna throw a lot of exotic looks at Josh Dobbs, and yeah, I definitely like the Saints.
Man, you know what? Give me the Vikings, man. They might be getting. I think Justin Jefferson might be coming back this week. Pairing him up with Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Josh Dobbs is going to have with that offensive line. Losing Cam Akers probably is big in my opinion because I mean, who are you going to look to back up Alexander Mattison? Not sure who's going to be that guy, but I do think that man, Josh Dobbs, the magic is there. Especially I think, this season, the way he's played. I know he lost a lot of games in Arizona, but he kept them competitive, right? And I think, with Minnesota, much better team. Much better team. He's got another week to know that offense, understand that offense. So give me the Minnesota Vikings, man. Got a lot of momentum at home. So I like that game at home. Moving on to the first game and the 3 o'clock slate here. We got the Atlanta Falcons going into the Big Toaster in State Farm Stadium, going against the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams coming off losses. Atlanta coming off a very tough loss against Minnesota, 31-28, and the Arizona Cardinals, coming off a 27-0 beatdown as they move to 1-8
Next game.
on the season. How do you see this one playing out, Christian? Is it next
Mhm.
game? Next game. Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. Yes, the Atlanta Falcons are going to, if it's Clayton Tune again, this is a sneaky top 7 defense. I'm probably wasting a little bit too much of my breath on this game. Anyways, moving on to the second game in the 3 o'clock slate, we got the Detroit Lions going into LA to face the Los Angeles Chargers, just coming off that big Monday Night Football win against the New York Jets. And Detroit Lions coming off of a bye week, but before that bye week, I believe they lost who they lose to, guys? They lost to they won. They beat the Raiders. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm thinking Baltimore Ravens 2 weeks ago, but they beat the Baltimore Ravens 26-14 coming off that bye week. How do you see this one playing out, guys? I'll start with you, TJ.
Lions Chargers. This is my last thing. I gotta go to work. Chargers at the crib. I think the LA Lights blind the Chargers a little bit. The LA Lights blind the Lions. I'm sorry. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers, Christian.
I'm taking the Lions here. I don't trust the Chargers to put back-to-back performances like they did yesterday, back-to-back weeks. The Lions present more of a challenge offensively than the Jets. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams. What's the running back's name? The kid from
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's just so much right there, and I just think they're gonna revert back to the defense that they did at the beginning of the year. They're not that good. They're not that dominant. The Jets were just that bad. This is a much better offense that they're going to be seeing. I like the Lions on the road.
And like I said, because I gotta go, Izzy, I'm sorry to cut you off. Give me so Lions. Yeah, give me the Chargers. Give me the Cowboys. Give me the Seahawks. If the Raiders don't beat the Jets, again, fire everybody into the sun. And give me the Broncos to no, not the Broncos. Give me the Bills to, give me the Bills.
Yeah. All right, GJ, man. Have a good night, man.
All right, TJ, man.
Absolutely, my man. Give me the Detroit Lions. I think David Montgomery might be coming back for that game as well. Give me the Detroit Lions. Next game we got on the slate, we got the New York Football Giants going into Dallas, coming off that 30-6 loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams coming off a loss. Cowboys losing to the Philadelphia Eagles 28-23. Christian, how do you see this one playing out?
The Cowboys are going to win this game. They're going to bounce back. The Giants, there's zero confidence right there. Izzy, this feels just like college football showdown right now.
It's just me and you, baby.
Yeah,
it's just me and you,
man.
we back on.
Nah. The way I look at it, Dallas played well enough to win that game the other day against the Eagles. They just couldn't capitalize when it mattered most. And it's penalties. What do we always talk about? Penalties can really deter a team's confidence. And the Giants don't have any right now. Dak always seems to ascend to higher levels when he plays the Giants. I think I'm spending too much time talking about this game. I like the Cowboys.
Man, this game ain't even close, man. All I'm gonna say is Tommy DeVito's at quarterback. He's
Next
gonna have a
game.
terrible. He's gonna have a terrible time. Next game. Coming to the next game, the last game of the 3 o'clock slot, we got the Washington Commanders going into Seattle to face the Seahawks. Commanders coming off a big win against the New England Patriots on the road, 20-17, and the Seattle Seahawks losing 37-3 against the Baltimore Ravens, and it wasn't even close, as that offense just didn't look like it has. And I'll start with you, Christian, but I'll say this, man. Geno Smith has not looked like the Geno Smith of last year, or the Geno Smith that they hoped to sign, that they signed to a long-term deal this offseason. How do you see this one playing out? And I kind of want to pose a question. I mean, I know Geno hasn't looked, but does the Seattle, with this heavy quarterback class coming in, do they draft a quarterback sometime in this draft? Just because of the fact that, Geno's 30, 31. Oh, no, Geno's 32, 33. He's 33, about to be 34. And just hasn't looked good this season.
Nah, he hasn't. I would. And you know who I think would be really good in Seattle? Hear me out here. Why not Cam Rising? I think Cam will look pretty good in a Seattle uniform. Him flinging that ball down the field and those serviceable weapons and DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then you have Kenneth Walker III in the backfield. That's pretty intriguing, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll give another name. A guy, because they go third round picks, the fourth round quarterbacks. They like those type of guys, right?
Yeah.
How about my man Sam Hartman from Notre Dame?
Ooh.
In this offense?
Oh, so we're bringing a little bit of college football showdown to the prime NFL.
Oh yeah, we bring it in. We bring it in. But I guess we'll get back on track. Who do you see winning this game?
I like Seattle in this one. I don't trust the Commanders. They didn't look all that good to me against the Patriots the other day, and they almost blew that up until Mac threw a really bad interception. Yeah, Seattle needs to bounce back. Seattle was embarrassed at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens, and they're gonna be ticked off. Like, they're gonna be ticked off. I think they're gonna want to run the score up. They're gonna want to start early and score as often as they can. And I think you're gonna see the Leonard Williams effect take place in this one. Stuff the lanes. Bottle up Brian Robinson and put this game in the hands of Sam Howell.
If this season has been, if this game, okay, what I want to say, how I want to say this. If the season is going how I think it's going for the Washington Commanders after a tough, close win, they're going to give up a lot of points and a lot of yards in this next game.
Yeah,
especially on the road, because they had 2 close wins. They had a close win against Atlanta, but then they dropped a close one to New York, and then they were up big. They were up on Philly, and they were humming against Philly, but they let Philly score 38 on them. They let Chicago put up 40 on them. Okay, within the Justin Fields game. And I think that was coming. I think they might have been coming off of a win against the Bears in that game. So I like the Seattle Seahawks to win. I think Geno Smith needs to get back on track. I know we're talking about quarterbacks and stuff. I do think that Seattle does go get a quarterback this offseason, like a young quarterback to sit behind Geno for at least a year or two, because I don't think he'll finish out that contract there. I do think that Kenneth Walker should be getting it going. I think I saw a little bit out of DK Metcalf that last game. Jackson Smith and Jugwood. It looks like him and Geno Smith are starting to get more on the same page. Give me Seattle in this game to win this game against the Commanders. And then next we got Sunday Night Football, and I don't think I need to ever see the Jets on primetime this year again. NFL should just start flexing their games. But needless to say, they go into the Death Star in Las Vegas to face the Raiders. And I think this is supposed to be Aaron Rodgers. When the NFL made this, it was Aaron Rodgers versus, Jimmy Garoppolo and Devontae Adams, and it's Vegas, and they expected the Jets to be probably one of the bigger players in the AFC and all that stuff, but the Jets are looking like a fake Louis bag right now. So how do you see this one shaking out in this game?
I like Antonio Pierce. I always have. I liked him when he was an analyst. He's a brilliant football mind. And I don't know if you heard his press conference today. He had the practice squad all at the game on Sunday. And that's something you really don't see head coaches doing. But it just seems like the change was needed in Vegas for the Raiders. He's going to have them believing. I trust the Raiders offense right now a hell of a lot more than I trust the Jets offense. I think the Raiders get that rare Big Apple sweep. They beat the Giants last week. They beat the Jets this Sunday.
Yeah, man, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders, man. I don't know. Is Aiden O'Connell still going to be a quarterback? I don't think it matters. I think this defense has just been very good the last couple of weeks. Probably 3 out of the last 4 weeks, they've been pretty damn good. Max Crosby, 9.5 sacks on the season, tied with Myles Garrett, who you shunned me yesterday about saying he might be DPOY. I still stick by that statement.
You said what you said.
I said what I said. They're only one game behind. He's got 9.5 sacks, but Max Crosby and company have been absolutely sensational. Zach Wilson, I mean, he's just hasn't really figured it out yet. Still at this juncture, I mean, I don't think he didn't plan on being a starting quarterback. He planned on sitting back and watching Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 years or so, and then probably taking the reins. But Zach Wilson just, he is what he is, man. And you can't throw it 38 times. You can't get down big early. But this isn't Justin Herbert. This isn't Austin Eckler. I know Josh Jacobs is across from you, but you got Aiden O'Connell on the other side. You have to, get after a rookie quarterback if you're the New York Jets. I like them. Actually, I'm going to change. I was going to go with the Raiders at first, but I actually like the New York Jets to win this game. I think the Jets will do enough to get Aiden O'Connell out of his rhythm. I think he is going to be the quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look that up, but I do like the New York Jets to win. I think that defense will come bring it there in Las Vegas, and I think they'll run the football a lot more, try to get that running game established more with Breece Hall and company in that game. Next game we got on the slate, we got Monday Night Football, and that is the Denver Broncos coming off a 2-game win streak. They had a bye week this past week, and the last one they had it was against the Kansas City Chiefs, 24-9. In that game, the Denver Broncos defense showed up. I mean, they got Patrick Mahomes into big-time trouble, 2 interceptions. I think he lost a fumble. There were 3 fumbles lost. They had 5 turnovers. They turned the ball. They turned Kansas City over 5 times in that game. So the defense is looking pretty damn good the last couple weeks against the Packers and the Chiefs. And then you got the Buffalo Bills losing a tough one this past Sunday night against Cincinnati, 24-18. How do you see this one shaking out in Orchard Park, Buffalo, New York?
Yeah, I mean, you summed up Denver to perfection right there, because I love what they did against Kansas City. They played with those safeties high, Izzy. They played coverage underneath, and they hit Mahomes at the line of scrimmage. And I think you're going to have to do the same thing with Josh Allen. You got to keep him in the pocket. You got to set the edge, and you can't allow him to buy time out that pocket. And look, I said it about Buffalo yesterday. You and TJ both laughed at me when I said it, and I'm going to say it again. This is a weird football team. I mean, they showed flashes to me after that Miami win of being potentially the best team in the AFC, but it hasn't been smooth sailing since then. They're back home. To be honest with you, I can see Buffalo playing down to Denver. I can see this game being a lot closer than what people expect it to be. I like the Bills, but Denver's going to play them tough.
Man, one thing I will, Denver's going to play them tough, and I do expect the Bills to win this football game. But one thing I will say, Russell Wilson has turned around his season. 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in his last 5 games. I know he's got 2 losses, but they won a home and home against Kansas City because they lost one on the road against Kansas City 19-8. They lost a tough one against the New York Jets. But in the last 5 games, Russell Wilson's 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's got 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions on the season. He's turned his season around a bit much so far. And so I would not expect, the Buffalo Bills to just just blow the Denver Broncos out. I expect the Denver Broncos to give them a tough game. I do think that you're right. I think the Buffalo Bills will play down to a 3-5 teams level. But I think I liked what I saw out of this defense from Denver, and I think Russell Wilson has played. He's moving the ball right. He's putting the ball in the right spots. Him and Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Had some momentum since his Steve Smith debacle there. But I like the Buffalo Bills still to win, but I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what people think. So expect the Denver Broncos to give them a tough showing here on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I just want to say this about Russell Wilson. One, I've been singing the song again. Izzy, you know the song. His name is Russell. Last name Wilson. But look, you've been watching football probably as long as I've been watching football. And what's the one thing to do with football teams? You blame the quarterback. He's the scapegoat, unfortunately, but Russell can only play on one side of the football. It's been their defense that's been absolutely atrocious this year. I don't know. This second half of the season is going to be interesting, especially that AFC West, because I don't think it's just going to be a cakewalk for Kansas City. The Raiders, they have new juice and new life with Antonio Pierce as the head coach. In Denver, just be on the lookout. I'm not saying they're going to make noise, but it could just be very interesting.
Absolutely. I think it could be very interesting in that Monday Night Football game. So you guys don't want to miss it. You guys don't want to miss Christian as he brings out his previews here on game day at the dailyblitz.blog. I'm putting up the website right now on all the platforms right now as we're going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't want to miss that hot content. But anyways, that's been a show here. I am your host, Israel Rivera. That is my main man, Christian Simpson, here from the dailyblitz.blog. And earlier we had TJ Hopkins here as well on Prime Sports World, bringing the heat 24/7. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And in case you missed us, you can catch us on all streaming platforms where podcasts can be heard, ladies and gentlemen. But Christian, it's been a great night tonight. Always glad doing the show with you guys.
My man. Look, it's nothing but a pleasure. We get to do this every week. We'll do it on Friday, College Football Showdown, because I think that's going to be a really interesting show, Mr. Rivera.
Absolutely. This Friday is going to be a very, very interesting show. Lots of good games there on the slate. And I know Christian's going to bring that heat. I know,
Absolutely.
One of the big games, I know we're ready. It's going to be Michigan going into Happy Valley, baby. Michigan's first time this season against a formidable opponent. So can't wait to cover that with you, my man.
Just looking at that matchup right now. Man, Michigan, they've been one of the more complete teams in the country. Running the ball, you just see the impact that Blake Corum has on this Michigan offense. They've done it defensively. They've done it in special teams. Yeah, You play who you play. You beat who you beat. Now we're going to see what they're really made of. And Penn State, this is a big game for them to stay alive. They can
absolutely
spoiler. Yeah, it's really a 3-team race right now in the Big Ten East. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Could be a potential eliminator for Penn State.
Absolutely. And then we said it a couple weeks ago, and I'll bring up another matchup. We said it a couple weeks ago with Ole Miss and Georgia going into Georgia, that we said that it was going to be a top 10 matchup. It is a top 10 matchup. That's going to be a big one. I know Christian's probably going to be previewing that one as well. Can't wait to cover that one on Friday as well. Anyways, everybody, man, like I said, as I always like to end these shows, man, in case I missed you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
And he just threw it off the backboard for me to just say one thing. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy. Peace out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for Fantasy Football Weekly. You guys don't want to miss that fantasy football content from me. Usually David is in the duel with me, but David's on vacation this week, so I'll be solo dolo on that show. You guys don't want to miss out on my rankings for the Fantasy Football Weekly show. Peace out, Christian. Have a good night,
Yes,
and I'll
sir.
see you on
You
Friday,
too.
my man.
Yes, sir.